Hello guys, so Jerry speaking. Welcome to Bedtime Stories, episode number 594. Today I jump a little book biography about Julia Child, and finally logo biography about Michelangelo. So let's read it down, shall we? So we got for us. Let's start with logo book biography book about Julia Child. Put up the tea. Anyway, it's written by Carl Allen, illustrated by Joanne Joanne, pronounce this her first name, anyway. Stone. Anyways. For my chef and the Aunt Kathy and Aunt Ro and your kitchens contains magic. Carl Allen. Published by Golden Book, New York release. Copyright 2024, all reserved. See, here is her cooking recipes from 1960s show. Anyway, pronounce it, sorry, anyway, the French chef, and that's delicious stuff. Anyway, she was born Julia, Carolyn McWilliams in Philadelphia, California, August 15th, 1912, okay? She lived with her mother, father, and younger brother and sister, okay? And a child, Julia, has no interest in cooking, okay? No one knew she would grow up to become one of the world's most famous chefs. Wow. Makes more difference anyway, even though she's a good chef, you know. In the 1960s on PBS, original was NDT, National Educational Television at the time. Next page. Anyways, one of Julia's first food memories was eating a Caesar salad, okay? When she was 14 years old, her family took a trip to Colorado, Mexico, okay? They dined at a Caesar Colony's restaurant, okay? And the famous chef himself came to the table and prepared the salad, okay? Julia never forgot how he cracked the egg, okay? Cracked the egg for the special dressing, okay? Growing up, Julia was an athlete, okay? Strong and tall, wow. At 6'2", I'm 6'1", by the way. She was captain of the high school basketball team, wow. She's also performed in plays and was student council president. President of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, this makes more perfect sense. There you go, even though she's a chef. Back in the 60s on PBS, like I said before. Next page, anyways, after high school, Julia attended Smith College, an all-women's school in Northern Massachusetts. There she studied history and played more basketball. Wow. After she graduated in 1934, Julia wasn't sure she wasn't to do next, so she tried to be a writer and secretary, but none of those things felt right. Wow. Heartbreaking, you know? She was obviously a cook more than ever. She needs to be a cook rather than be a writer and secretary. Come on now. Next page. Anyways, when World War II broke out, Julia tried to enlist in the Women's Army Corps. Wow. They told her she was too tall. Wow. Instead, she went to work in the office in the Strategy Service, which later became the Central Intelligence Agency, or CIA for short. Anyway, her job involved in keeping track of the top secret information and helping make a shark repellent to protect pilots who land at sea. Wow. Okay. In 1944, Julia was stationed in Syria, now known as Sri Lanka. Wow. Okay. The country in Asia. There she met her future husband, Paul Child. Paul was a photographer and the artist. He also loved a good meal. Wow. And that makes more perfect sense anyway. It was a great chef, you know. No, she was a great chef, so we'll get it. Anyway, next page. Anyway, from 1940s. Anyway, next page. Anyways, on September 1st, 1946, Julia and Paul got married in Marlborough, Pennsylvania. They lived in Washington, D.C. for a short time before making a big move around the Atlantic Ocean, Paris, France. Wow. Julia's first meal in France was a restaurant called the Gorge. Wow. She also has marjorie, okay? Fish in the brown hot butter sauce and a long thin bread called a bouchée. Wow. She would join everybody and fell in love with French food. Wow. That was what I was saying, because that makes more sense than PBS Jefferson anyway from PBS stations nearby. And that is perfect sense anyway. Next page. Anyways, in 1949, Julia enrolled at La Cordon Bleu. Wow, okay. The famous French cooking school, the well-known chef Max Gouillard was her teacher. Wow. Julia studied hard and performed many difficulties recipes, okay? When it was the time for the final exam, the students were tested on the simple things like how to cook a Olaf boiled like that, start boiled egg. Julie had prepared for more complex dishes and couldn't remember what an Olaf boiled was. She failed the exam how we take it to get a diploma, but Julie was happy. She had found the things that she was meant to do. Wow. Okay, makes sense anyway. So there you go. That's French chef for you. It's born. And anyway, next page. Anyways, in 1951, Julie met Siobhan Beck in Louisiana, Brazil, something like that. Anyway, the three new friends started a cooking school called Diaz tries these French names. Sorry, anyway. The school did 3 half years. Anyway, Simon and Louise were also writing a cookbook about French cooking for Americans. They wanted an American to help them. Okay? Julie's a perfect choice. Wow. Writing a cookbook wasn't easy. They had to make sure the recipes would work for an American cook. Grocery stores in America did always carry the same ingredients sold at the French market. And when Julia and Paul left Paris, much of the work had to be done through the post office. Since there was no personal computers, which I'm a computer guy by the way, back then, anyway, the woman typed up in the notes and typewriters and mailed them to each other. That makes more perfect sense. You have to text people nowadays, since there's no internet back then, so there you go on that. Next page. Anyways, it was took 9 years to write, revise, and publish the cookbook. When Masterpieces in Art and the French Cooking, Volume 1 was published in 1961, it was over 700 pages long, and there were a huge success. The time when most Americans were eating convenient, frozen, fast meals. This taught people how to slow down and enjoy the process of cooking, okay? To promote a new cookbook, Julia appeared on a TV show in Boston called I've Been Reading. Wow. Okay? Instead of simply talking about the book, Julia surprised everyone by cooking an omelet right there on the set. After it aired, the station received letters from people who loved the show. They wanted to see more Julia. And it makes sense, people. Julia and Child, blow up the tea. So there you go. Next page. Anyways, the producers decided to give Julia her own show. On February 12, 1963, it was the wrong year, excuse me, the French chef debuted on public television. It aired first in Boston and then nationwide. Okay? Julia cooked fancy dishes like boiling for barbecues like that and French onion soup. Explaining everything in her assistant's high-pitched voice. Okay? The show was a hit. Viewers had loved how Julia made complex recipes seem easy. And I always loved she sometimes made mistakes, okay? Once she accidentally flipped a potato pancake out of the pan, wow. Pick it up and kept right on cooking. They love that she ends every show by saying bon appetit. That means enjoy your meal in French. And that makes more sense anyway. So there you go. Bon appetit. Yeah, I love that whole time thing in French. So Julia Child, bon appetit. And that makes more sense anyway. That is so TV-like in the 1960s. You know? And WGBH difference. Next page. Anyways, French Chef won a Daytime Emmy Award in 1966. It was the first time that an educational television show ever won. Then, in 1973, after more than 200 episodes, French Chef ended. Wow. Okay? But Julia didn't rest for long. But when she wanted to write more than 15 cookbooks, she worked on the popular television shows like Good Morning America and Tonight Show. She even cooked spaghetti with Mr. Rogers, who turned 97 2 days ago. So I'm taping this right now. So there you go. There you go. And it's Mr. Rogers for you, ladies and gentlemen, with Julia Child at the time. So there you go. And that makes more perfect sense, people. Anyways, next page. Anyways, saw the episode before. Anyway, next page. She created several more cooking shows for two as well. Julia was 87 years old when she and her friend, Chef Scott was scrapping. Saw her last show. Julia and Scott was cooking at home. Wow. It made Julia's classic Kaiser salad. Inspired by a whole one she ate in Mexico as a girl. Wow. Even though it was a great show, because I grew up with bits of French Chef, but she passed away, you know. I mean, I'll talk more about this in the book, but that's just me, of course. Anyway, moving on. Julia won many awards and honors throughout her career. In 1993, she was the first woman inducted in the Summer Institute of America's Hall of Fame. She's also received the Presidential Medal of Freedom from President George W. Bush in 2003. And in 2001, Julia donated her old home kitchen to the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. You can see her copper pots and pans, blue cabinets, and the counter that was built 2 inches tall. The center counter that would still be high enough for Julia. And that is perfect sense, people. So there you go. And it's good enough for the cooking basics. So there you go. At least do something about it. The last page of the book says this. August 14th, 2004, Julia Child passed away at the age of 91. She lived a full life. She was doing what she was doing she loved most. Cooking and eating. She brought the world that with a bit of practice and patience, anyone can make a delicious meal. Bon appetit, Julia. And that is the end of that story with Julia Child. So, there you go. That is Julia Child for you, ladies and gentlemen. So it's Julia Child, Little Girl Book Biography. What did you think of this book? It was amazing. So far, this book was a success. Last book of the day, and that is Maya Angelou, Little Girl Book Biography. Here we go. It's written by Anne Weiner. Anyway, illustrated by Courtney Laurette. Here we go. Published by the Gold Book New York release, covered 2025. All right, deserved. Seeing here is her with some other things like that, but there you go on that. Here we go. She was born Margaret Ann Johnson. Wow. On April 4th, 1928, in St. Louis, Missouri. Her older brother Bailey called her Maya's sister, which eventually turned into the name Maya. Wow. And that makes more perfect sense anyway, so there you go. It's just good enough for me. Next page. Anyways, when Maya was 3 years old and Bailey was 4, the parents sent her down with their grandmother. They were called Mama. It was a small town of Stamps, Arkansas. Wow. The siblings took the long trade line from the St. Louis to Stamps all by themselves. Wow. Common passengers give the children chickens, potatoes, salad to eat during the trip. Pullman porters, Batman, or who works on board the train made sure Ryan and Bailey change trains and right stations. Wow. Common sense, people. So Maya Angelou is a great woman to begin with, girl to begin with. She turned into a civil rights leader singing. Yeah. I'm not gonna go there right now. Anyway, next page. Anyways, instead, Maya and Bailey live with Mama and their Uncle Willie. Greatest story Mama owned. Mama thought Maya had to read. And Uncle Willie quizzed the siblings on multiplication tables. Maya wasn't so good at figuring out math problems, but Mama could call her my middle professor. Okay. When she was 8 years old, Mom stopped speaking. Wow. Even though she kept her words to herself. Wow. She fell in love with the words of great writers, especially plays and poems by William Shakespeare. Wow. Okay. She raised every single book in the black school library. And all the books that she could get with the white school library. Wow. Okay. Good enough, I guess. So there you go. Maya Angelou for you, ladies and gentlemen. Next page. Anyways, a teacher named Bertha Flowers began investing, inviting Maya over their house. She served lemonade and cookies and read books and poems to Maya. She encouraged Maya to try reading out loud. Ms. Flowers explained that the human voice could give words a deeper meaning. Maya began to speak again. Wow. Good enough for Maya Angelou. So there you go. That makes more perfect sense in any way. Next page. Anyways, when Maya was 13, she and Bailey moved to San Francisco, California to live with her mother. Maya received a scholarship to study theater and dance, but she left school for a while to get a job. Anyways, she wanted to become a streetcar conductor. Wow. Maya pictured herself riding alongside San Francisco hilly streets. Wow. And was collecting money for passengers and wearing a fancy uniform. She told that black people couldn't work on the streetcars. Excuse me, anyway. But Maya was gonna give up. After asking for a job again, she finally hired as one of the first black female conductors on San Francisco streetcars. She was only 16 years old. Wow. Good enough, I guess. So there you go. She was a conductor and all that alone. Next page. Anyways, during her senior year of high school, my son, Shy Bailey Johnson, was born. Wow. She called him Guy. So that to support the two of them. Anyway, she had several different jobs. She was a waitress, a cook, a singer, and a dancer. One day, she auditioned for opera, Porgy and Bess, and got a part. Maya joined the cast and traveled around the planet, performing in Canada, Italy, Spain, Egypt, and several other countries. Wow. Good enough, I guess. So there you go. Maya Angelou for you, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said before. Next page. Anyways. Maya also wrote. She wrote poems, music, short stories, and short song lyrics. Wow. Friends suggested that she move to New York City, to join Harlem Writers Guild. She took their advice and became an even more writer. She inspired when she had heard Martin Luther King Jr. speak about changing the world through non-violence. So Maya became her writing, her voice to fight for equal rights of black people. Wow. That makes more perfect sense, people. You can thank Martin Luther King Jr. from my home state of Georgia for you. Next page. Anyways, Maya's friends love hearing about her tell stories about her childhood, okay? One day, an editor asked her to write a book. At first, Maya didn't think it was a good idea, but finally, she agreed. She called her autobiography, I know why the caged bird sings. Wow. Okay? It wrote about her experiences from the age of 3 to 16. People everywhere read it and love it. Maya's books became a classic. Wow. It's good enough, I guess. So there you go. It's make more sense when they say, just while that bad sugar. Anyway, from the birds. Anyway, next page. Mary Poppins. Next page. Anyways, Maya kept writing. She wrote movies, plays, and more than 30 books, including poetry collections, children's books, cookbooks, and 6 more autobiographies. Wow. Maya kept performing. She's appeared in Broadway, in movies and television shows, including miniseries, Roots. Wow, I have to talk about this boring jokes very soon. Roots. Anyway, next, she also became a college professor and speaker, and shared her words, knowledge with students and audiences. Maya once said, "When you learn, teach. When you give, give." Makes sense anyway. So there you go, Maya Angelou. It's for you. There you go on that. And here we go. Next page. Anyways, the Cold War on January 20th, 1993. Maya read her poem on the Poles of Mourn. The inauguration of President Bill Clinton. The poem which Maya wrote especially for the occasion. For the country's difficult past and bright future. Singing her poem in the clear, powerful voice, Maya made people feel hopeful and inspired. Yeah, I feel inspired by Robin and Jim. This is another example. So, and that is grateful for the President of the United States, Bill Clinton, back in the 90s. And let me tell you something, folks, before we turn to the next page. I was wearing diapers, and I was only 1 when the Summer Olympics came out in Atlanta. But it was the 100th anniversary. I'm like, okay, that was making more happening. So, very good. It makes sense. Because I'll have to tell you that in my upcoming Life Stories episode and other things. But that's just me a number of time. Next page. Anyways, Maya won many awards for writing and performance. She didn't go to college, but she received more than 50 honorary degrees from colleges and universities, okay? Around the country, okay? President Barack Obama, president with the 2010 Presidential Medal of Freedom. Maya Angelou passed away on May 28th, 2014. She was so suspected and beloved, but that she continues to be honored today. In 2022, Maya became the first black woman to ever have an image feature a U.S. warrior. That I did not realize that until now, but wow, this is a shocking thing to talk about it. The last bit of the book says this. When she met her fans, Maya would often sign her books when with her name and single word joy. She found joy in many parts in her extraordinary life. Her writing continues to bring joy to people around the planet. And that is a perfect way to end this journey between the whole thing and the book. And that is Maya Angelou for you, ladies and gentlemen. So is Maya Angelou, a little Goldberg biography. When I think about this book, it was amazing. So far, this book was a success. That was Bedtime Stories episode number 594. Hope you enjoy it. Stan's gonna be. Not sure it's gonna be as yet, but just a reminder, there will not be a Bedtime Stories episode. You won't be seeing Bedtime Stories episode for a while, okay? Because I have things to do. I couldn't purchase any books for recently. Because, let me tell you something. I have not purchased a book in like couple of years. And because this, it cost me saving up money. And Amazon decided, it's my mom who decided, we're not getting Amazon money. Well, I have to get Amazon money to save up in order to get books. Okay? So the next episode, I'll tell you more when the next episode's going to come, but be patient. It'll happen. Now, excuse me, I gotta end this episode, and I will have to get ready for, from the next episode, Boring Jokes, episode 52, on Harry the Spider, on the memory of Michelle Trachtenberg, and I get ready for bed, because after this is over, I gotta make, some projects to do, in between calling Billy, some other things, but that's me. And I'll see you about making a bedtime stories episode for you guys. And if I don't, then we'll figure this out. But just be patient. There will still be a more bedtime stories episode coming. Truth me, believe me on that. It's because the books are empty. So, yeah. Anyway, till next time, so just baby. Come on, bedtime stories episode. We got to soon say out. See ya.